Welcome to the Hooch, where the only place more messed up than your hosts is the barracks on a Friday night or the VA. So get ready to stand by for your weekly dose of toilet humor and shenanigans from your fellow veterans, Coy Mack and Michael Grizzled Grunt Harris.
Are hot. And welcome back to the Hooch, everybody. Got Michael Harris, Kyla, and Coy Mack here for us for the evening. Got a very interesting topic to kind of go through. It's going to be a long one. Going to be a fun one, but it's going to be long.
I can't wait.
I know Michael can't wait because he's super excited about this. Michael, why don't you kind of explain what we're going to be talking about this evening?
Well, so a buddy of mine who was a drill sergeant, she tagged me in a message from some stupid private that wrote her like 6 or 7 years later, I don't even know how long, talking about how much she hated her. And I was just like, really, private? You know, you wait all these years to send her this one message. And we just roasted the fuck out of her, you know. So we're going to talk about privates and shit, you know.
She blocked me on Facebook, by the way.
They literally think because we're not drill sergeants anymore, they can just talk shit to us. No, you can't. There's a certain, you know, amount of mutual respect. So we'll go into that.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of fun of that one.
It's crazy.
Okay, thanks, Den. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's kind of crazy the kind of lack of respect and discipline that's going on inside of the military today. Like, it's not just like the Army. I know the Navy's got to deal with it, the Air Force got to deal with it, and the Marine Corps. I don't know as much. Like, I've never had any like issues on my end when I was in, but we'll have to get other people to kind of bring on that. But first, we need to get into our question of the day. Kai, take it away. What is it?
The question of the day: if you could put any four bands together to have a concert, music festival, what has it, and you're going to make money. Money's no issue to put these together. To have four guys or four players, who would you have choose to play at your concert venue?
Ugh. Ooh. I mean, that's hard, but also at the same time, like, I've never been like a real big music buff, so I wouldn't know. Like, I know that like that's kind of surprising for some people.
Nerd and no one likes you. And no one likes you.
Apparently, Michael's got his. Okay, so Mike, you lead it off. What are yours?
Ooh, man. So all genres. First off, I'm a Deftones fan, so always Deftones.
Knife Party.
Deftones would be, you know, the headline.
Knife Party. Okay, I agree with that.
Number 2, if I could bring the Doors back to life, I would bring the Doors in. Number 3, Nirvana. And number 4, let's go a little bit into like the hip hop, you know, genre. I would bring in Run DMC just because.
Ooh. Just
because it's Run DMC, dude.
All right, what about you, Kai?
Well, for me, you know, I've thought really long and hard about this.
I bet you thought about long and hard, didn't you?
Dude, I love things that are long and hard.
5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
Always.
No, if I was, I'd bring Pearl Jam. I'd put the Foo Fighters.
Ooh, made my nipples hard right there.
Okay, yeah, Foo Fighters, that would be a good one.
I would do Linkin Park and bring Chester back from the dead.
Yes.
With the rope hanging still from his neck.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Rewind.
Okay.
Kai, do you remember things that get you fired? That's one of them.
That's strike 2.5.
Strike 2.5.
Like, that's just gonna be a continuing segment on the show now. Is like, what gets you fired, Kai? That was one of them. You have another one.
Let's not talk about that.
And
you can't do that.
I would bring back Blink-182, the original Blink-182, before Travis Barker, when Scott was still playing with the band. Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus.
Yep, before Scott, because I actually saw Blink-182 without Tom, and it kind of sucked.
It's terrible. Like, Blink-182 was the first concert I saw in kindergarten.
In kindergarten. Jesus
Into
Christ.
kindergarten. When was that?
Dude Ranch, that came out in 1994.
Dude, I was in high school.
Bro, how does that make you feel that me and Coy are young enough to
I
be your
mean,
children?
yeah, no. Michael's the old man in this group.
But look at the
Like,
body. Look at the bodies.
I know, black don't crack. I hear it all the time from you, man. You're like, nope, young guy over here at heart.
He may be able to do cardio and may be able to run, but I can lift more than him, so I got that going.
I can eat more than him, so
I can
that's
eat more.
fine.
Well, I can.
He could probably eat more than both of
I
us.
can
so.
eat
he can eat both of us.
Yeah, he could.
can eat
He's all
spicier
fat bastard
food
over
than
there.
you.
Get in my belly.
I could just see Kai rotisserie my ass, just on a little wheel, just picking little piece of meat off like,
Oh yeah.
ooh, Michael, you're delicious. Black meat.
Who doesn't like that black meat?
Sandwich.
So we're gonna get into our topic now, which is, hang on, I gotta bring it up. First, I'm gonna show the initial message that we had that we're talking about right now.
Okay, Coy, before you do this, I have to change headgear. Okay.
Why is that?
Oh God, can't do it.
Well, while he's doing that, I've got the
Now
photo
we're good.
up for everybody else.
Headgear
right
is
now.
confirmed.
Hey, son.
Why do you have to change? You're changing the headgear in the middle of a recording. You know that you're just like, no, just do that.
That's fine because we're the Hooch.
I know. That's what we do. We do stuff like that.
I mean, but if you look at it, I mean, like, it's a good thing going on right now.
Yep. It is. Okay, so Michael, explain what we're looking at right now. I've got the original message that your friend received, and her initial posting of that, which is
Trying to read it for me?
yeah, I'm gonna read it for you.
Okay.
I fucking hated you when I was in basic in South Carolina. You was just a fucking hater.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's funny. I remember this chick. She was
Yeah.
pretty useless. You know, it's one of those privates. You're just like, go over there and eat. Go over there to eat your MRE. You know, she couldn't even figure out how to open the shit. But I remember walking up on her in the barracks. I remember the privates running down, talking about she's trying to kill herself. I'm like, oh shit, this private's trying to fucking kill herself. So I walk into the fucking bay, dude. This chick has a 2-quart canteen strap around her neck, and she's trying to choke herself out with her bare hands. I literally wanted to watch the fucking show. I was like, let me watch this dumb motherfucker pass out. But I had to, as a fucking NCO, step in and say, hey, look, dummy, you ain't gonna choke yourself out. You're dumb if you do. You know,
You can't do that.
you
yeah.
can't do
No,
it because
like-
your body's gonna tell you no. And so she literally tried to choke herself out. She wasn't that great of a private, but
David Kerrigan taught me I could choke myself.
the fact that she went, with one of the most savage female drill sergeants that I've ever known, you know, blew my fucking mind. You know, Cess, she does not give two shits. You know, she was savage as fuck. She smoked the privates on her fucking cell phone. She'd be like texting motherfuckers, down, up, yeah, motherfuckers.
See, this is where I get a problem with Army boot camp versus Marine Corps boot camp. Look, we didn't have cell phones and stress cards, and Kai was telling me that's a fucking lie, that doesn't exist. But I'm
no,
telling
we don't
you
have
it
stress
does.
cards.
Then where did that come from? Where did stress cards
let me
come
tell you
from?
because I was drill sergeant from 2010 to 2013. We never had a stress card, but that was like a pilot program that the Army started, and they realized that the shit wasn't gonna fucking work. Because anytime the privates felt a little bit of stress, private, do push-ups.
Stress card.
And they were like, fuck that shit. So all you Marines out there, the Army stress card program was a pilot program. It didn't last that long.
I heard it lasted all of 2 weeks.
Yeah, it didn't last long at all. They were
See,
like, there's no fucking way.
Then
with it.
how did that rumor persist for so long,
Because
man?
the Air Force
that's what I'm
actually
saying.
has stress cards.
Yes.
It's the Air Force.
The Air Force has stress cards.
The Air Force has stress cards. Remember, the Air Force is not a real branch.
Can we get a Air Force? What do you call them? Are they instructors? What are they?
Business.
No, I think they're called drill or I don't know
They are
what the fuck
teachers.
they're
They
called.
are cadre members.
I have no. They
man.
were these. So I mean, it's not the same.
But remember that
but-
drill, that whatever they are, they're tech instructors. They said
Yes.
the Air Force is the hardest branch.
Oh my god! And theirs aren't even brown. That's the
No,
thing.
they're black and they're wicker. They look like Waking Hut hats.
Yes. And those hats
What?
suck.
Yeah, don't you remember those guys from like Waking Hut G4S, like the old security company with they're straw hats, but they're black.
No.
No?
No, I don't. No.
You've never seen Wake and Hut security guards? You see the rent-a-cops?
No, I don't.
You ever go to a mall?
No.
No?
No. Why would I go to a mall? Fuck.
I don't go to
God.
malls either. Fuck a mall. The mall's on the internet. That's where I do all my shit.
Like I went to
I'm a fat
the
guy. I have to
mall
try my
like a
shirts
couple
on
times.
before I buy 'em.
You got to stretch your shirts out before you buy them.
Bro,
No, see, so
this
wherever
is an extra medium.
it's a schmedium, but
It's a
like
schmedium.
just so you know, like don't go to wherever he goes to shop because all of the shirts are stretched out now.
Exactly.
First off, I get something that's roughly my size, so
And
it's
they
not
s-
completely that stretched out.
And they smell like bacon.
And they totally smell like bacon.
You know what? I smell bacon. I smell grease. Holy fuck! It's military police.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
let's
Well, you
get
were
back
you
on
were an
topic.
MP
So,
though, so that's fine.
I mean, that wasn't the first time that a private has tried to, talk shit to a drill sergeant. And it happened to me too. And it was online through Facebook, social media. That's the only way. There were a bunch of keyboard motherfucking, keyboard soldiers,
warrior.
shit. Keyboard hard asses, And they get up there and they're like, "Oh my God, I've been out the army. I've been away from basic training 3 years. I don't like Drill Sergeant Harris." And then all of a sudden they tell me, and I'm like, "Bitch, I don't even know who the fuck you was."
I don't remember you. Like,
I don't remember
am I
who the fuck
supposed
you
to know
was.
who you are? Like,
If I don't remember
kind
you,
of situation.
that means you was a piece of shit.
I don't care who you were.
I probably fucked your mom on Family Day.
You know what? I'm not
It's like they-
going to bring up the drill sergeant's name, but she was a hot drill sergeant, and I slapped her booty on 4th of July.
Okay.
Was that when you were still in, or were you
No,
No
it was
way.
a
I was out.
civilian
Okay, good.
Kai? Okay.
Michael
Yeah, I was
Harris
gonna
there
say
when I
like,
did it. We were playing Jenga.
but here's the thing: is like this comes back to kind of a broader problem of discipline in the military right now. Like I got an article I want to get to in another video. I'm pretty sure everybody's already seen and heard about that Air Force chick that got in trouble for making a racist rant. I put that in there because, like, yes, it had some slightly racist undertones to it,
Wasn't
but then
really
it didn't.
racist.
But it did highlight a problem in discipline that
Exactly.
the Army's noticed and the rest of the military is starting to notice is this growing sense of entitlement. Like, we already had a discussion about veteran entitlement, but now we have to talk about military entitlement because they're not instilling the values and discipline that they were supposed to during basic training.
Well,
and now we have all this other shit to deal with.
Okay, let me tell you something real quick. A lot of people think like drill sergeants, especially in the Army. I'm gonna speak for the Army. They think, oh, the drill sergeants are soft and we're this, that, and the other. People gotta understand, and I'm pretty sure the Marine Corps has the same boundaries. Our hands are fucking tied, dude.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
There is only so much we can do. It got to one point when I first started, we used to go motherfucking ham on these motherfuckers, man. I had privates.
Did you put hands on privates? Is that what happened?
When I say, what do you consider hands on?
I don't know. Why don't Drill Sergeant Harris give us an explanation of what hands on means?
Okay, so hands on means if I tell you to go fucking column right and you go column left, I'm gonna guide you to column right by grabbing you by the sleeve very forcibly and pushing your punk ass to the column right position. But here's the thing,
Grabbing you.
people don't understand, man. We're constantly being watched. When I first became a drill sergeant in 2010, I mean, we used to go ham on these motherfuckers, man. It was no holds barred. As long as we didn't fucking beat their fucking ass, it was no holds barred up in that motherfucker. And that was my first battalion commander. Then we got a second battalion commander. He was a hard guy. He liked us being hard, but he kind of pulled the reins back a little bit. He didn't mind us cussing them fuck out, but we couldn't like smoke the shit out of them, till their elbows exploded and
Just
shit.
smoke them until they're bleeding,
Yeah,
basically.
smoke them till somebody goes to the hospital. I used to tell privates that all the time. In my first cycle, I'm like, I'm gonna smoke y'all motherfuckers till somebody goes to the motherfucking hospital tonight. And I remember one cycle,
Jeez.
it wasn't my platoon, but we was smoking the shit out these motherfuckers. And I remember this kid, he was a little Asian kid. His ass ended up in the motherfucking hospital, And then we got a new chain of command. Our battalion commander used to be lurking around before tea and shit, trying to see if we're cussing him out. Hey, Drill Sergeant Harris, I heard you say the word fuck. I said, no.
God, like I don't know how you would they would have survived. Like you would have loved boot camp during like 2008 when I went in because like they were cussing left and right for the drill instructors. Like cussing's a way of life in the Marine Corps. You can't take that away. Like you can cuss people out. Come on.
Yeah.
Like why were they taking that away from you? Like as a way of instilling fear.
Well, at one point it was 350-6, and a lot of privates didn't understand. We weren't cursing at you; we were cursing at the moment. It was more of a fear thing. They didn't want the privates to be scared of you. I was like, no, it's like breaking the dog. The dog has to fear you first, and then there's going to be that love and respect afterwards. They have to know that, hey, I can't do this. So they wanted us to, coddle these motherfuckers. I remember before I moved to the drill sergeant training team. That was my last 6 months. I remember my last cycle as a line drill sergeant, and I remember they went to this new format. So it was like, okay, drill sergeant, there's no more shark attack because the commanding general doesn't like that.
Wait. What? You can't do a shark attack?
Yeah, so listen.
Like, so you can't have like one drill sergeant show up and then another one and then 5 other ones show up and start yelling at them?
No, now, like I said, this started my last cycle. And I remember the commanding general, I forget his pogue name, but I remember that he didn't like the term.
Shit, I gotta look that up now.
He didn't like the term shark.
I know who it was. It's the same general that said semi.
Oh, General Hertling. No, General Hertling was there, but I don't think he might know. It was the guy after General Hertling. But I remember he did not like the term.
Oh, this is the best one.
He did not like the term shark attack. He's like, what do the drill sergeants mean by that? What does it mean? Blood?
What do you mean by shark attack? What does it even mean?
So now it went to the point we had to have this whole scripted, when the privates come there. So I remember I was the senior drill sergeant of the company. I had to stand on a podium and be like, welcome to Bravo Company, Charlie 113 soldiers. This right here is your gateway, blah, 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 blah.
This is your gateway. Okay. So for those of you that don't know what a shark attack is, I got a video. It's kind of pixelated-y, but it demonstrates very well. It's a pretty famous clip. I think a lot of people have seen it before.
This video.
Oh yeah, it's an old one, but I'm gonna bring it up and show you. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, check it out.
I just gotta transition over. There we go.
Hell yeah. That's the shit I'm talking about.
Okay, that wasn't the real one, but kind of gets the point across, though. I think this is the original. Yeah. See, that's what I had to deal with when I went through boot camp.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I laugh at this shit now, man. Oh god.
I mean, that's the shit how I started, man. I remember, my first platoon. I remember I was a cherry ass fucking drill sergeant, man. First, I got there mid-cycle, so I was brand new fucking drill sergeant, staff sergeant. I got there, finished the cycle. I remember my very first full cycle. And I remember I was part of 4th platoon. I was always part of 4th platoon my whole time in Charlie Company. And I remember there was, Drill Sergeant Brunton and Drill Sergeant Ziegler. And we had a freaking turtle, too. A turtle's just a guy who's going to drill sergeant school, but he's just turtling. He's not a drill sergeant. He's not
turtling enough for the turtle club.
He's just in a platoon. I remember my first cycle pickup. These motherfuckers are going ham. I was just like, oh, shit, this how it is? I'm in, And Drill Sergeant
totally down for this.
He didn't give a fuck. So I remember it was like day one. The privates fill out all their paperwork, all their personal data, and all this stuff. And Drill Sergeant, and I'm the cherry Drill Sergeant, so I'm doing all the paperwork shit. I'm in there like, all right, privates, fill this shit out. Drill Sergeant Brunton walks in. He goes, hey, privates. Yes, Drill Sergeant. Jesus called. He said, eat a dick. And I was just like, oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The shit was hilarious.
Yeah, man. Like, it's fuck you, Joe Sergeant. But no, it's definitely different. Like, I know there's some similarities between the Marine Corps and the Army when it comes to, training. And a lot of the things like I'm going to bring up the article here in a minute that they're talking about is taking away ceremony and drill out of basic training to focus on. That's what they said. Like this is the article saying is like we need to put more of the ceremony and drill back into there and not just focus on the combat skills.
Where did you
like
find
that's
this
not
article?
true?
Well, I will
military.com.
tell you. So, I will tell you when
Does it say Army Times?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't say.
But when I
Army
first joined the Army, I went through OSUD at Fort Benning, Georgia. The school of the badasses. The real infantry. And I remember, man, we focused on drill a lot. When I say we focused on drill, think of Full Metal Jacket type of drill. We're out there on the drill pad, marching, left, right, left. Then when I became a drill sergeant, it was very minute, man. The only time you really did drill was, the first week of red phase. That's where you really focused on it. And then on, your downtime after all the training's done at the end of the day. So, the private.
Yeah, see, no, that's not the same thing with the Marine Corps. Like drill's like straight through the whole thing. Like that's like every fucking day. It's all formations, all march, all that stuff. It's like every day.
Now don't get me wrong. When I say drill, every morning when we form up for formation, every morning when we when we march to the freaking PT field, every morning when we march to chow, you're constantly doing drill. But drill, it wasn't really a form of instruction, the first week and a half. That's when you did it by the numbers. The first drill I would name, explain, have demonstrated what you can have to work on is position of attention. The position of attention is the main position for all stationary march movements. You taught them all that shit. But now the Army, they're getting away from it. Even in drill sergeant school, it's not even a requirement to pitch a fucking module. I remember you can get kicked out the fucking school for not pitching a module.
Really?
Yeah, you can get kicked out of school. Like there was the top three. You had the position of attention, present arms, and parade rest. And you had to pitch those three, the top three. And then in school, they'd be like, all right, Harris, tomorrow at 7 a.m, you're going to pitch, right shoulder arm, attention to right shoulder arms. And you don't even know it, So the next morning they call you out, all right, you ready? Go. So they don't even do that no more. You can't even get kicked out of school. So it's eventually, generational millennials are going to become drill sergeants and blah, 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 blah. Then the Army's going to go to shit.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, son. But no, it's kind of a point. Is like, in your honest opinion, like as the only person that has actually been an instructor of soldiers through basic training, like what do you think is the problem that the Army's facing right now? Like, why do you think that they're having to revamp their basic training? Why do you think that there is this sense of entitlement? Where do you think that's coming from?
Well, just look outside the military. Look at society. It's this entitlement generation growing up. It's these kids who feel entitled to everything. So what the military has to do, and through generations it's happened, the military has to kind of change things for each generation. When it went from segregation, they had to change it. Boom. Then it went from, we have stronger guys or weaker guys, and it's going to get in. It's going to change over time. So now the soldiers coming in now, I'm not saying all of them, a lot of them are weak as shit, man. I've met grown ass fucking private men that couldn't even do motherfucking 2 push-ups. And I'm like, what the fuck you been doing your whole fucking life? So
and then there's that rip chick that's over there just busting out like 100.
There's that little ass chick over there busting out 30, 40, 50 fucking push-ups. And you get those fucking anomalies in basic training, those beasts.
The beast mode people. Yeah, I remember those. But
so I really think it's just the millennials, and I don't even know what do you call these kids? They're not even millennials anymore. They're the Z.
They're the Generation Z. I call them Zeds.
Yeah. So
that's
and it's going to get worse, dude. It's going to get worse as the generations continue.
It's weird because I don't know if the Marine Corps has a problem with this right now, but when I was in, we've never had that kind of, nobody would ever dare 6 years later go find their drill instructor and talk shit to them. Like nobody would do that. They were still scared to death of those motherfuckers. Like they instill that kind of fear into you.
And it happened to me. I was surprised. I was like, I didn't know who the motherfucker was. I was like, bitch. Obviously you didn't have balls enough to say it to my motherfucking face. And like I said earlier, or on the thing you shared, I said these privates got to understand that drill sergeants are contained. A lot of us don't want to lose our fucking job. But if me choking you the fuck out and smashing your fucking face in took for me to prove a fucking point, I would have fucking did it. You know, there was a lot of shit we used to get up in the bay. These motherfuckers thought they had it made. Oh, Sergeant Major said we couldn't smoke. And you had your little snitches. Remember that? You had to snitch.
Yeah, I mean, there's always one of those guys.
And they'd be like, drill sergeant. They slide a note under your door. You have all these notes under your door, right?
Oh, no. We like, God, I don't think everybody was too scared to even ask the drill instructor for anything. I mean, you had to go up. You had to slam your hand on the freaking paddle beside the door. Just, like, asked to go to the fucking bathroom. Like, shit.
I mean, it was like that in the Army. You had to ask permission for everything. But I used to come back to, you know, get up for PT. I'd go up in the bay. They're over there scrambling to make their bed and shit. I go in the bay. At ease, drill sergeant. I go into my door, open my office. There's notes slid under the door. They'd be like, Private such and such said that he's happy that the sergeant major said that you can't smoke them because he thinks the drill sergeants are bitches. I'd be like, okay. That's all I say. Okay.
It's a bitches.
Yeah, so,
bitches.
you know, I'd be affirmation. I'd be like, hey, Private's PT. I'd be like, hey, Private, we're about to do some PT, but god damn, I can't wait for tonight. Why, drill sergeant? Yeah. Because somebody thinks drill sergeants are bitches. And I'm going to smoke
the bitches.
The eyeballs out your motherfucking face tonight.
Drill Sergeant Harris, you're a cock.
I'm going to smoke you so bad that your motherfucking kids and your testicles are going to know that you got smoked 15 years ago, and they're going to come out muscle failure and shit when they come out the womb.
Muscle failure. It's like, okay, so Kai, like, in your opinion, like, as being a soldier yourself, coming out of that, like, did you see that kind of problem? Did you see that entitlement problem when you were in?
Back in my day.
Back in your day, yeah.
There's no day.
Back in my day, 10 years ago.
Damn, that's
10 years ago.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it like, when did you get out, Kai? I don't remember.
I got out in September 17, 2012.
Okay, see, you got out a year later than I did. So, like, active duty anyway.
And, you know, like, what I saw, I mean, I still had mad respect for the drill sergeants that I had. And, I mean, they're cool as fuck. And even to this day, one of them lives down in San Antonio. Dude's still cool as fuck. When I got out, first thing I did, I found out one of my drill sergeants was at JPAC, and my buddy was in the same unit. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with my buddy blah, blah, blah. And he looks at him and he goes, fat Hawaiian guy?
Fat Hawaiian guy. Well, like, so you were a big Hawaiian even in boot camp.
when I went into basic training, I was 340 pounds at 19% body fat. And so when I graduated, I was 247%. And I dropped 100 pounds that cycle. So I was a brick shit house. And I mean, I had excess skin. I've always been a big guy, no matter what. Like, before the Army, I was big. But after the Army, I was big. In the Army, I was big. Yeah. I've always been a big guy.
You've been a big dude. I mean, it happens.
Like, the smallest uniform I wore when I was in was the smallest uniform I wore was a large, and that was for like a month and a half. And then I went back to an extra large. And then my arms got too big, so I had to wear 2X, and it looked like a dress.
You mean it looked like a muumuu?
It looked like a maternity uniform.
Yeah.
he had to get his let out a little bit. He took it to the Mama-san tailor.
So my arms were big and everything. Like, I had a big, like, a good chest. It wasn't fat. Like, it was fat, but it wasn't like fat. Like, oh, you fat sack of shit. It was.
You sad sack, man.
You're not fat. You're
sad sack.
No, I wasn't fluffy at the time. I had a six-pack on my dick. Like, legitimately, I was in shape.
Bullshit. You didn't have a six-pack on your dick.
I had a six-pack on my six-pack.
Okay. Anyway, moving on from this, but I got the video. I'm gonna play it for us of the Air Force female that was going on that rant. I think we need to listen to it so we can.
The video of the Air Force instructor saying that the Air Force is the most hardest branch in drill.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
From every cops going ham on the.
I might find that later. If you find the link, send it to me and I'll throw it up. But for now, let's go into that particular one. I think is pretty good. What's going on?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. All right, here we are.
Issues with my airmen and my NCOs that are lower ranking with me, but they're black females. And it pisses me the fuck off that they have no fucking respect and constantly having an attitude. And what the fuck is up with that? Like, I'm trying my best to hold my professionalism with them. But good God, they have no fucking respect whatsoever. Every time I talk to them, no ma'am. It's just like they're talking down to me. Trying to tread lightly as a, higher ranking NCO, not to fucking blow the fuck up and start a fight club. But I'm over it. Why is that? Why is it that every time I encounter, my subordinates that are black females, they have a giant fucking attitude. And it's not like I'm coming to them with a fucking attitude. I don't. But every time I fucking talk to them, it's like I'm just some fucking stupid ass girl that it just doesn't even.
Can we
not called like I don't even
accent.
deserve to be talked to as a person. So educate.
So, yeah, like mainstream media is already beating this thing to a dead horse about the race aspect of the video. Like that's not what I want to focus on. So we can say something about it and move on from that because, like, yeah, that was your first mistake. You probably shouldn't have said black females.
She should have said people of color females.
If she would have just said people of color females coming at me with attitudes.
The women who wear their hairstyles out of regs that have darker skin tone than me, she wouldn't have gotten in trouble.
Now here's the thing, dude.
Maybe
I can speak as a drill sergeant.
Oh, I was gonna say as a black man.
As a black man, and a drill sergeant, former drill sergeant, still a drill sergeant. Shit, but
still that.
I can say that the majority of our attitude problems did come from black females and black males. That's a fact.
You think that's true? Like, do you think that she got unfairly judged based off of what she said, or do you think there's an actual fact basis on that?
There is an actual fact basis because
there's 100%.
Black people are very proud people, and that's a fact. And a lot of times, I
mean, have you ever seen a Medea movie?
Yeah, but statistically speaking, so let's talk statistics.
Yeah.
You have a lot of young black males who growing up in single-family homes. Not all of them, a lot of them. So they come to drill sergeant and they have this male black figure or male figure in their face. They already have, daddy issues. Same thing goes with young black females, and not all of them. Not all of them. I said, but you get that select group, very minute number, that give a lot of attitude. They come off and then you destroy the fuck out their ass verbally. You verbally dice and slice their ass. Them. Yeah. You eat their soul and they're just like, oh, okay, I'm not fucking with this guy. But I will tell you a story.
I ain't fucking with you.
As a drill sergeant. It's a funny story, so we get off, some of the... So I remember it was my first CQ, first or second, new drill sergeant. So I did total line. Total line is when you go out and count all the privates, make sure they're not dead or they're all in there, but no one cared. But
basically a bed check, yeah.
A bed check. So I did my counts. I go over to the staff duty desk, was around the corner from the CQ desk. I give my numbers. I come back. There's 2 female privates standing at the door. And I'm like, what the fuck? And this is after total line.
What's this all about?
Yeah, there's 2 female privates standing there at the door. They didn't know I was away. So I walk up. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing out here? So they turn around, and it was a white female and a black female, I remember. And the black female turns around. She goes, drill sergeant, I need your help. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Well, I'm having dreams. Dreams are motherfucking nightmares. What are you fucking talking about, private? She goes, I'm having dreams about you. Swear to God. And then
alarms going off in your head.
Yeah, I'm like, ding, ding,
I need
ding.
an adult.
So, I go off. I'm like, what are you talking about, private? She goes, I was just wondering if you can help me out. I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking offended. Take your fucking ass back up to the fucking bay. Her friend was just shaking her head the whole time, her battle buddy, like, what the fuck? I immediately went to staff duty. I was like, this private just came downstairs and told me she needed my motherfucking help. Fuck that. He logged it, called the sergeant major. Sergeant major was like, the drill sergeant did the right thing. What do you think I did? I called every fucking female drill sergeant in the motherfucking in the drill sergeant realm of the country. And I was like,
I called all of them to come down.
All
here.
of them. Every female drill sergeant came in that morning. Oh my God.
I'm sure the light up of that event would have been spectacular.
Oh my God.
You see that? You see that drill sergeant badge? That's my dick.
Yeah.
Now, it's just insane to think about. Like I've heard all kinds of crazy stories when it comes to, boot camp and all the other things. Everybody's got their boot camp stories. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that it sucks that it's translating over into the military. Like we're starting to see all these kids that are coming out, being grown out, that they can do anything. They can get away with saying stupid shit. It's like, it reminds me of the thing that people always say is like, oh yeah, if a dude got in my face, I'd do something about it. It's like, no you wouldn't, you motherfucker. Yeah. No you wouldn't.
If I went to
never would you do that.
If I went to basic training and a drill sergeant got in my face, I'd fucking do. Yeah, right.
You know how
yeah,
many times
you
I've
always
heard
you
that?
always hear those people. Yeah, I've heard that all the time from people.
I heard I know this guy. He joined the Army a couple years ago. I met him while working downtown. I'm going to call his ass out. His name is Clement Smalls. And Smalls is, if these drill sergeant motherfuckers get in my motherfucking face, I'm going to knock them a motherfucker out. I'm like, no, you won't. No balls. So, and he was like, he didn't tell anyone that he was joining the Army. And I knew one of the recruiters because he'd party downtown all the time and he'd come talk to the door guys because most of us are veterans and whatnot. We'd hook him up and we'd get him some free drinks and all. And he was like, yo, Smalls joined the Army. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, he shipped out. I'm like, yo, find me his contact information. Find me the basic training unit that he's in. Just so happens that one of my buddies from my last unit was a drill sergeant in his fucking unit.
Mm.
And not only did I fucking make an awesome care package with cookies, lube, and a giant black dildo, I said, I wrote in a letter, Private Smalls wrote a letter to me saying that you ain't shit and you won't fuck him up. He says you're a fucking pussy.
Wow.
And you know how you have to read your letters out loud?
Yeah, I definitely remember that shit. That's not fun at all. I actually have a story of my own with that. Is like coming back to that whole sense of entitlement. There was this one kid who was getting we were absolutely getting roasted on the fucking quarterdeck. Like just, I was dying. I was crying. I was sweating. I was just dead. And the drill instructor was just sitting there screaming at this guy, just calling his name over and over and over again. And I remember him just screaming out, "What?" And the look on his face when he realized what he just did, like it was an involuntary response. The look on the face and the fear and the dread, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you done fucked up."
His pupils immediately dilated. Like,
right? Oh, like he had a hard on for him. Yeah, he had a hard on for him for the rest of our training evolution and cycle. Like he just, that was his bitch for the rest of the time.
This would have been the perfect conversation to have Drew Cross on our episode.
Oh yeah, because he had boot camp stories. Yeah,
because he had a shit ton of boot camp stories. Because he's a fucking boot.
He is.
Yeah, poor guy.
Boot.
Terminal boot. Poor guy.
Fucking boot.
I remember my first.
It's not his fault.
I remember my first time to war.
Later.
I remember my first push-up.
I remember my first smoke session.
Yeah. Fort Bend in Georgia. Smoked.
I got the shit smoked out of me because I talked to my cousin, who was a staff sergeant, and I told her to go fuck herself.
That's not good. Look at this shit.
Yeah, you can't.
Look at this shit right here.
So I got to bring up I'm going to bring up the article that we're talking about with the lack of discipline. There's a lot of things that are going to start changing now with the Army. They're going to change a lot of things with their boot camp. But I wanted to highlight the reasons why they're changing it. And that's kind of the important thing here is why. So, low recruit discipline prompts Army to redesign basic training, right? So, yeah, the sense of entitlement. What leaders have observed if everything would work for me, that's cool. Don't do that. Anyway, so this is what I wanted to highlight. What leaders have observed in general is that they believe there is too much sense of entitlement, questioning of lawful orders, and not listening to instruction, too much buddy mentality with NCOs and officers, and a lot of tardiness, being late to formation and duties. there are trends that they see as increasing, and they think they're a part of the discipline aspect that is missing, in that they would like to see in the trainees that become soldiers that come to them as the first unit of assignment. They also came down as like one of the reasons they actually did a survey. Yeah, here it is. It's the right up here. The new program of instruction is a result of surveys taken from thousands of leaders who have observed a trend in new soldiers fresh out of training display a lack of obedience and poor work ethic as being a careless with equipment, uniform in appearance. Right? So they actually asked, yeah, here it is. After compiling the data from a survey of about 27,000 commissioned officers, warrant officers, and non-commissioned officers, the message was very clear that the number one thing is that they are coming to the units with, lack of discipline, physical fitness problems, and all kinds of other crazy related problems.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can totally agree. Like I said, I've only been out the Army, it'll be 2 years this month.
Yeah.
So 2 years this month. So I remember I was in 1 battalion. My last unit of assignment was, Fort Bliss. So I was in 141 Infantry. We deployed to Afghanistan, came back. We reflagged. They sent us all throughout the base. So I ended up in 136 Infantry. And the soldiers are good. They needed some work. But I will say there was a big difference from the unit I came from to the unit I went to. And a lot of it was young NCOs that were buddy with their fucking dudes, man. That was the biggest problem. And I always tell people, I would rather have a whole bunch of disciplined motherfuckers than a whole bunch of PT studs and experts. I'd rather just, because, you can make a PT stud and you can make an expert, but it's really hard to make discipline at that point. So I'd rather just have guys doing the right thing totally. In my last platoon, I was in that platoon from 2013 to 2016. Not once did I have a blotter or a serious incident in that platoon. Get to my next platoon. I had a motherfucking soldier go to Las Vegas and steal a motherfucking car and drive down the strip. That's the type of shit, entitled motherfucker, So, I mean, I agree with the article, man. It's a lot of sense of entitlement. And a lot of these guys, they watch it, they see it, and a lot of it's our fault too, man.
Yeah,
I mean, they look up to guys like us. There are guys within within the veteran industry. They look up to us, and there's this sense of entitlement that we all have. We can't help it. It's just part of our aura and part of us. And they see it. I'm a soldier, bitch. You ain't even got to your first duty station yet. So, I mean, I agree. The Army needs to crack down on that shit. Where it goes to officer and NCO relations, I believe that officers and NCOs, mainly at the platoon and company level, even battalion level, your counterpart, you need to have that fucking relationship. A platoon sergeant,
that also, yeah, I was going to say there's actually another thing that we're not talking about. Like, all these articles are talking about lower enlisted, but nobody's talking about the sense of entitlement that boot lieutenants have. Like butter bar lieutenants that all they did was go to college, get out, go through their basic training, go through OCS, go through their core schools, and that's it. But they think they know better than 10, 12-year, sergeants.
Well,
and it's like gunnies and staff sergeants and all those guys. Like they know better than them.
And they always focus on enlisted. You ever notice these articles? They're always like enlisted. But let's talk about the toxic officer and super senior NCO ranks. They're toxic as shit.
Super seniors.
So a lot of that toxic environment, it affects the discipline. It really does. So if you're just a toxic ass fucking battalion commander who really doesn't give two shits about his guys except for the fact you just want to train
train all the time.
All the time. I was on, my last unit. Dude, I got there, dude. We must have been in the field 7 months out of the whole fucking year. Not total time. I mean, not back to back, but I'm talking about total time. So guys are going to find a way to freaking decompress, and they're going to go out there and do stupid shit because they're fucking tired. So it starts at the top, trickle down economics, trickle down fucking, leadership. It trickles down. So if you're up there at the top and you're just, all you care about is yourself and your well-being and what's going to make you to get to the next position. it's going to trickle down. And it's going to affect every branch of your rank structure, and it's going to get
Right,
down,
and
all
I
the
can
way
agree
down
with
to
you
the
on that.
privates. And they're eventually they just don't give a shit. And then you have guys like me who are constantly trying to tell my guys, look, dudes, look, we're constantly fighting for you. Hey, look, I'm out there screaming and yelling. At one point, they're like, dude, you're a fart in the wind, man. We've heard this before.
Wait, is like them removing what was it, corrective periods of instruction?
Yep,
Like
can't do that anymore.
like you can't do that anymore because it's hazing. Like that comes into the difference between discipline. Like if you can't discipline your new guys because it can be considered hazing, then you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your rank, you're going to get NJP'd, Article 15, whatever it is, because you can't. If they didn't get it in boot camp, then you're going to have to do it, you know, on your end.
Have you ever?
But they
heard
can't
of,
do that anymore.
Have you ever heard of the heaviest piece of 550 cord?
No, what is that?
It's a 6-inch of 550 cord, and you tie a knot on it on each side, like a loop knot, and then you put your 2 fingers on it, and then you put it in front of you, and then you have to keep your arms out. Well, keep them in a
You
squat
hold it.
position.
You got to hold it for that long. Yeah. I know one of the things that happened to me is losing a piece of serialized gear and then having to get a rock.
Oh, you were
'Cause,
that
like
you were that
little,
fucking
yeah,
guy?
little, yeah. I was that guy. Like I was little old, you know, boot Mac
Coy, your
that
name is
lost
Carl.
something. Yeah. Hey, Carl. Yeah.
I would have
Yeah,
fucking
Carl now, but-
destroyed your ass.
Probably,
You-
but I mean, I didn't do it again.
You'd have
Like
got a soft
you
part.
learned. No, I mean, I had a serialized rock that I had to have, and I had to carry it around, and I had to report it with all the numbers, like with everything else. Like it was done in order to teach me a lesson, and stuff like that is perfectly fine. I don't think that any kind of corrective measures that you do in the fleet or in the big army, whatever you guys call it, I don't fucking know. But you know, like when you're there, is like you have to be able to do that as an NCO, as a leader, as a team leader, as a squad leader. You have to do stuff like that.
Yep.
Especially in the infantry, like you can't not do stuff like that and expect your guys to respect you or like to at least adhere to some of the things. Like, yeah, it might be stupid, but they need to learn to listen, because in combat, like listening is the biggest thing that you need to have. You know, it's like understanding communication, understanding your orders, and getting the job fucking done. Like the mission coming first. Like that's kind of like what we're looking at with this. I don't know. Kai, what is your thoughts?
Which way did he go, George? You know, my thoughts on the whole situation are we should just go back to being allowed to beat our children, because that's where it's coming from.
It's true.
I mean,
Just spanky kids.
no, not spank. Like full on.
No.
Use the rule of thumb.
No.
I mean, that's what
You realize the rule of thumb was intended for women,
Yeah.
not children, right?
it was women and children. If you look at it,
You get a stick no bigger than your thumb.
and you can beat
Either
the
way, that's-
shit. Trust me,
No,
where,
that's
where
fucking
I
that's
come,
wrong. You cannot do that shit.
Where I come from, that is proper and perfectly fine.
You mean the Mormon faith?
No, I'm talking about Hawaii. I mean,
Dude.
granted,
I mean,
those
how do you
Hawaiians are
wrangle
Mormon,
all those
so-
wives if you can't beat them?
I mean, I used to get the shit beat out of me, man. I used to like do some fucked up shit and catch my, my grandmother would be like, because I was raised by my grandparents, she'd be like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going to handle it tonight. I'm going to wait for your grandfather to get home from work. And I catch myself trying to go to bed because I had to go to school. And he'd wake you up from your sleep with an ass whipping.
Yep.
You know?
Like, so
I mean, but Michael,
I'm
you're
gonna go
also
back-
like 50-year-old man.
So I'm gonna go back.
Wait, what? I'm not that old.
I'm gonna
dude.
go back
Not
to
even
what
close.
I know.
I'm gonna go back to what happened.
You're almost there.
I'm gonna
No,
go back
not
to what
even
happened
close.
when I was growing up. I'll
Okay.
admit I was a shithead kid. I was a complete fucking shithead.
But I do
Yeah.
go for
I think all three of us were kind of assholes as
and
kids.
you know, I thought when I was growing up that I was a grown ass man at 16 years old, and I stood up to my dad, and I got the shit kicked out of me. Like straight up, I said the wrong thing to my mom, and then I talked back to her, and then my dad came and was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And I'm like, "What?" And I thought because I was 6 inches taller than my dad that I was strong. Nope. My dad beat the fuck out of me. Not just in front of my friends.
Yes.
He beat them in front of my older cousins, who I have the utmost respect for. Like, and my cousin Nuu, who was a CW3 in the Army as a pilot. He's one of the reasons why I joined. In front of my cousin Nani, in front of my cousin Kahea, my cousin Eric, all who served in the military. And I thought I was a grown ass man. And that ass whooping put me back on track to being a good person.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that kind of mold us and shape us from when we're kids, especially going through boot camp. That shapes you a lot. And if they're not, like, I guess to kind of close out the topic at hand is, like, if you don't get the proper periods of instruction, you don't get that instilled discipline there at boot camp, you're not going to have it throughout the rest of your enlistment. Like, you're just going to be, an asshole. You're going to be useless. Like, the useful idiot type situation. Like,
Yep.
The reason you're going in is so they can change the way that you think and act. You know, you got to have pride in what you do. You got to have pride in what you know, what you're learning. Because, like, people depend on it, man. It's not like working at fucking Kinko's. It's not working at McDonald's. It's not working at your Fortune 500 company. It's not your fucking accountant job.
Exactly.
It's totally different. People count on you to save their life. Anyway, I don't know. It's fucking, like I said, it's a whole thing we could go more on. But we have another prank call that we're going to do tonight. Kai, what are we doing?
So we just talked to one of my buddies who is a drill sergeant. Not going to use his name.
No. Don't do that.
I mean, we can bleep it out after this, but
Don't say it.
We're already live. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, so my buddy, he's a drill sergeant on the trail in Mike's old unit. But I have to use the name to ask for the drill sergeant that's on duty.
My old unit and my old platoon.
Old unit, old platoon. So
And the thing is that they kept the same name, the Devil's Rejects. I'm the godfather of that fucking name. For all my fellow rejects out there are going to watch it. Remember that shit.
So we're going to call, but I have to use the drill sergeant's name because I have to ask for that drill sergeant. And I have
Just do it. Just do it. It's fine.
Fuck it, we're doing it live. I got my thing closed out.
Do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. I got my thing logged out for a second. I got to log back into Facebook. I hope I didn't get banned again. So I just got back from a 7-day ban. It was supposed to be a 30-day ban. I think it was 8 days altogether. Don't say bad things on Facebook, especially when you call somebody out.
You get thrown into Facebook jail, just so you know.
So
that's what happens now.
What's the unit that you're in? What battalion?
113.
So we're calling 113.
Charlie Company is the company at 4th Platoon. Devil's Rejects.
All right. So we're calling.
All right. Let's do it. Call him. Make sure to get it next to the microphone so we can all hear. There you go.
113.
Is Drill Sergeant Oliver in?
She's actually taking a soldier up to the UCC at the moment. How can I help you?
Well, hey, Drill Sergeant. I wanted to come clean and say I have my phone in the bay, and we've been making some phone calls all night.
Excuse me?
We've been making phone calls all night, and I want to come clean. I'm in the Devil's Rejects 4th Platoon, Charlie 113.
Who is this?
My name's Private Asoso Ole Toy 2.
Private what?
Asoso Ole Toy 2. I'm a big Samoan kid, Drill Sergeant. Is this Drill Sergeant Lugo?
Yes, this is Drill Sergeant Lugo.
I figured I'd call to come clean because I don't know. Do you want me to come bring my phone down?
Wait, who is this? who is this?
This Private Asoso Ole Toy 2, Drill Sergeant.
Yo, this is not a private right now. I know you're joking with me right now.
You sure about that? Hey,
All right, hey, look, man. I was a former drill sergeant back from 2010, 2013 in 4th Platoon, Charlie Company 113, Devil's Rejects. I was the creator of the name, actually. And we just wanted to, we're part of the Hooch Podcast, so what we do, we prank call staff duties and just fuck with people. And your buddy told us to give you a call, but I am an alumni of 4th Platoon 113. So Charlie.
Who's my buddy?
Drill Sergeant Jeremy Jackson. So me and Jackson were actually in the same unit in Germany together, and that's the only reason why I was like I had to fuck with you, Drill Sergeant. My bad.
Hey, but yeah, check us out on the Hooch, man. It's on Facebook. You can probably catch us live right now if you go to Facebook. We're the Hooch Podcast on there.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Hey.
man. Hey. Hey, but I can't believe you guys turned that shit fucking yellow.
Hey, I'm just over here helping them out. I'm actually a part of Bravo Company.
Oh man, I was in Charlie Company, And then I got moved to be the first sergeant in Bravo Company. I was then, after a new first sergeant came in, I was in 4th Platoon Bravo Company.
Hey, drill sergeant, but I appreciate you
man.
being a good sport tonight.
I appreciate it.
Hey, have a good night.
All right, man.
Be safe.
Later.
Another good one down.
We got our phone call down. You just been panked.
He was like,
You got
"What is
panked.
this?
Yeah,
Wait a
we're
minute."
that's our term now. We're gonna say pank.
You just
It's
got
not
panked. And
prank.
keep it.
You got
You
panked.
just keep putting panked on it.
Panked.
But
You
yeah,
You didn't get
Panked.
punked. You got panked
You got panked.
you got panked.
because our video engineer didn't spell check, so it's now our pank phone call.
Yeah, it's pank phone calls now. Yeah, that was my bad. I have a 10-month-old at home, so like sometimes when I'm doing all this stuff from home, I got a screaming baby, and I'm like just trying to knock stuff out, and then now we get pank phone calls.
Hell yeah. So hey, look, I know our time is up almost, right, Coy?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
let's
we're about out of time.
Let's talk about some of the people that give us some of the cool stuff that we have on. Kai, going to talk about American trigger pullers.
Let's go talk about American trigger pullers. Are you tired of looking like a fuckboy at the range? Are you tired of wearing shitty shirts that fall apart? Well, if you are, check out American Trigger Pullers at AmericanTriggerPullers.com. Use promo code The Hooch for 15% off all your purchase needs.
And if you just want some,
If only your voice could get like a man and get deeper,
a little manly, like, and if you,
yeah, just like you gotta have Michael do it because he's got the deep manly.
and
voice.
here goes. If you really like meat rub, if you like your barbecue tasting like freedom in America, head over to Grill Your Ass Off and get the most awesome, tastiest rubs on the planet. Use promo code The Hooch and get 15% off. America.
Hey, let's talk, before we get off,
we gotta talk about
Next
we
week.
got South by coming up next week. That's what we have to talk about. So South by's next week. We're going to Shiner Saloon downtown, 14th. Yeah. We're going to have a bunch of different veteran artists that are going to be out there. You got some comedians as well. You got us. We're going to do our show there live, probably around the same time. Michael's probably going to wear his Smokey Bear just because he can.
We don't call it a Smokey Bear. It's a campaign hat.
Whatever. It's a Smokey Bear. Fuck you.
Campaign.
But yeah, definitely come out next week.
We're going to have Pat Williams out with us. You know, he's
Yep.
going to be singing some songs, getting some ladies' panties all wet. We're going to have Shannon Book from Invictus. He's going to be out there singing with us. You got Roach. He's going to be roasting some of you motherfuckers. And you know what? Some of you civilians, you guys got to come out as well. And then we have Drew Cross, our favorite little boot, coming out to come party with us. So we're going to be at Shiner
Our
Saloon.
favorite boot.
Our favorite boot. That is our new favorite word for him. He is our favorite boot.
He's our boot
So
comedian.
You
what
are
we're-
our favorite
what
boot.
we're gonna do
our
is-
favorite pair of boots.
We're going to be at Shiner Saloon, which is 422 Congress. We're going to be on the patio. We're going to be there from 12 till whenever the fuck we get drunk and pass the fuck out, and they have to kick us out and send us home in an Uber.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Not only that, we're going to be going down there. We're going to have some swag to give away to you guys. And it's just going to be a great all-out time. I hope you guys are ready to rock out with your cocks out because you know what? Skies
Hang out
out,
with your
thighs
wings
out.
out.
Hang out with your wang out. Skies out, thighs out because we're wearing our silkies and our Ranger panties. American
Yeah,
Triggers.
I'm not doing that.
Yo,
you
you're
guys can
def-
wear those.
I'm wearing my
not wearing
professional pants,
silkies.
but I'll have them under. Just
I
in
will
case.
have. my
I'll
Ranger
wear
panties
them
underneath.
underneath.
Just in
Yeah,
case
I'll
I
do
get
that.
called out and you guys want to see the bulge.
And you know what?
The blurriness.
I forgot to shout out one of
I
our
don't-
boys
I
who's
don't-
going
I
to
don't
be out
want-
there with us.
I don't want to
Totally
see
forgot
it.
to shout out to Jared Couch, who's going to be out there with us. From
the
The
Oath,
oath.
yes.
The oath.
But again, don't forget, guys, we're going to be at Shiner Saloon.
Hey, you can't forget Denny's gonna show up too.
OP veteran.
Veterans going to show
OP
up.
veterans gonna
You
show
know what?
up. Yeah.
Let's just invite everybody out because you know what?
Everybody's invited.
Everyone's
is.
invited except one person. But they shall not be named.
You know who that is.
You know who you are, Carl.
You know who you are. Anyway, but we love you guys, America. We'll see you next time. Check us out on all of our platforms. Like us, share us. You know, all around. Get cool stuff. Use our promo codes.
And
Really like
private.
the stuff that
You
you
fucking
get.
private. Stop talking shit or I'm going to fucking kill
Yeah.
you.
No balls.
Fuck you, privates.
Fuck you, private.
Anyway, we love you guys.
And we're out.
Stay savage.
Welcome to the Hooch,